This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today, we highlight the second annual Lip Sync Battle to support people with disabilities. Joining me on Share the Vision to begin is Steve Watterson, Community Relations Director at the Resource Center. Steve, read my lips.
Oh, that's cute, Dennis. Very good. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And I must say, the venue for this recorded broadcast today on a very hot day, just a couple of days before broadcast, steamy in Jamestown, and we have the whole of the cool and neatly designed and decorated Shawbucks to ourselves. This is really a special treat.
Yeah, it's nice and comfortable in here. And we're here at Shawbucks because on Friday, August 19th, Shawbucks will be hosting our second annual Lip Sync Battle, which is a fundraiser for the Mark Pacheco WOW Fund, which you'll be hearing a little bit more about as our program goes along. But it's a lot of fun. Obviously did the first one last year. It was a blast, a different kind of a fundraiser for the Resource Center and TRC Foundation, and we are anticipating that year number 2 is going to be even bigger and better.
Now, do you want me to go immediately to our next guest here and sort of have you share the mic? Well, maybe you could do the introduction.
Well, the next person you'll be hearing is the brainchild behind the Lip Sync Battle. He's an employee at the Resource Center named Marcos Figueroa, and he was the person that also got the Mark Pacheco WOW Fund going. So he is most knowledgeable about that and the Lip Sync Battle, so it makes sense to talk to him next.
Marcos Figueroa, welcome back to Share the Vision. Great to see you again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for organizing this event for the second year.
My pleasure.
Tell me about Mark Pacheco and the WOW Fund.
Well, me and Mark Pacheco grew up as little kids, and we've known each other for many, many years. Our parents are friends, and unfortunately, in 2010, Mark was assaulted in downtown Jamestown, and as a result, he passed away, and so I decided to create the WOW Fund for Mark. He always used to say WOW, so I had to incorporate that in there. So it's the WOW stands for Working on Wonders, and we raise money for people with disabilities to go on wishes and grant them wishes that they want to go to.
I'm going to talk a little more about that in just a moment, but first to Mark, you and he also worked together?
Well, Mark worked at Pleasant View in the TBI home, and so he did
for the Resource Center.
Yes, for the Resource Center.
And what is it that you do for the Resource Center?
I'm assistant resident manager at Fairmount Avenue.
So you had two different positions, but under the umbrella of the same organization.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about Mark as a person. Just remind us of who he was, what he represents to you now as you look back at his life.
Mark was a beautiful soul. He was always happy. He cared about people, and one of the reasons I started is because he really, really loved his job, and he liked to take care of individuals and give them love and give them something back. He was always happy, and like I said, he always said wow all the time. Very outgoing and very outspoken also. And
WOW has come to mean Working on Wonders?
Working on Wonders.
And the money that you raise from this lip sync event, well, this is the second year, so with a little track record behind you, Marcus, what kind of wonders came to be as a result of what you did here the first year?
Well, so far we have sent a couple of guys that have never been to a Sabres game to their first Sabres game. We sent a young lady that's always wanted to see Carrie Underwood to a concert this year. And also we sent 2 residents to SmackDown, which they've always wanted to go to.
So these are things that are real and exciting for all of us, depending on our tastes and interests, and might be out of reach for persons with disabilities, people who are working at or receiving services from the Resource Center.
Correct. And you could fill an application out. You can get a hold of trc.org, and we have applications, and you fill them out, and our committee goes over them, and usually we're not going to deny anything. I mean, if you want to go to Europe, well, we'll speak about that. But, let's start out with Niagara Falls or something like that.
See how it goes from there.
Let's go from there. Yeah.
Okay, now, Marcus, that's the serious part of this, and I thank you for your sincere and loving statements about your friend for many, many years throughout the length of his life. Now we get to go to the fun part. Why a lip sync contest?
Well, I figured Mark used to like to do karaoke all the time, And we attended a few lip sync competitions ourselves together and watched them, and we enjoyed them a lot. So I figured this has to be fun. We have to do something fun, something where you're just going to relax, everybody's going to laugh, everybody's just going to have a great time. So I said we have to do a lip sync contest. And it turned out last year to be a great event. And this year, like Steve Watterson said, it's going to be bigger and better.
All right, let's do some of the basic work here for people who might want to know more about this or attend it. And let us repeat when this is going to be. The second annual lip sync battle will be when here at Shawbucks?
It'll be here at Shawbucks at 212 West 2nd Street. And it's August 19th. Doors open up at 8 o'clock. Show starts promptly at 9:30.
And who can participate?
Anybody over the age of 21 can participate in the competition, and you can enter before 9:30. We will not be taking no entries after 9:30. We have 10 confirmed acts already, so we can take a few more.
And how can people sign up for that?
They can go on Facebook, follow Marcos Figueroa, or my phone number is 951-6118, and I will give you all the information you need.
Now, what should performers intend or have with them aside from their lips when they come, Marcos?
Definitely have your lips.
Exercise and ready to go.
Exercise and ready to go. Work your lips. Move your mouth around. Props are encouraged. Costumes are encouraged. The more you have, the better. You will be judged on lip syncing, creativity, and wow factor.
And any kind of music, doesn't matter what the tune is?
You can pick whatever tune you want. No extreme, vulgar language.
Solo acts, duos, groups, doesn't matter?
You could do solo, or you can do a duo, or you can do a group.
And what was it like last year? Give us the flavor of some of the performances that occurred here during the first lip sync battle.
Well, speaking of flavor, I came out doing Sofia Lasagna. It's a take of La Bamba, which Mark Pacheco loved. So I did a little Weird Al. And he has a song that says La 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 Lasagna. Mm-hmm. So, I was dressed up as a little Italian lady. And there were some surprises in there. You had to be here to see it. Maybe you can see it on my Facebook. We had a Barbie and Ken act. We had the winner of A Gentleman was amazing. It was half woman, half man, I'll say, and it was just excellent. We had the Hula Hoopers, and we also had, what was the other act? Oh, we did have an engagement at the lip sync contest also that we planned out and kept it a secret until the night. So
some performers actually got engaged on the stage here? Tell me a little more about that.
Well, they came to me, her friends came to me and said, can we please have Chris propose and keep this a secret? And so I planned it as we were going to compete against each other, and they had to do a lip sync. And then her friends brought her up just to dance with them, and she didn't know anything about it. And they came up with some roses, and the song was "Will You Marry Me?"
Wow.
So it was amazing.
How incredibly romantic.
So if anybody would like to get engaged this year at the lip sync contest, please get a hold of me.
Well, the phrase that comes to mind, Marcos, is the sky's the limit in terms of things that you can do. I mean, within normal constraints, you can do a lot of wild, interesting, funny things with this.
You can do amazing things. Listen to your song while you lip sync and be creative, Anything can happen in a lip sync contest. I mean, you might see splits this year, dancing, twirling, everything's going to happen.
And there are prizes.
There are prizes, excellent prizes. First prize is $250 cash with a beautiful Champions Cup. Second prize is $100 and $50 for third place.
And for those who want to attend this but don't want to perform, you're also selling tickets for people to come through the door.
We are selling tickets. Right now we have pre-sale tickets all over the Resource Center. You have to find out all the locations. There's a few of them. Also, I do have pre-sale tickets, and at the door it's $7. So if you want to save a couple dollars, come on out and use those for a nice cocktail and enjoy yourself. So
Steve Watterson's release says pre-sale tickets are available at the TRC Foundation office at 92 Fairmount Avenue and the Resource Center, the Dunham location, also 75 Jones and Gifford Avenue in Jamestown, 712 West 8th, and also on Lakeshore Drive West in Dunkirk. For the moment, Marcos Figueroa. Is there anything else that you want to add about the Mark Pacheco WOW Fund or the second annual lip sync battle?
I just want to let everybody know to come on down August 19th. It's going to be a great time. We have a silent auction going on. I have some other surprises that I'm not going to say because I want you to come and enjoy this fabulous venue that Kurt has here at Shaw Bucks.
I'm going to go over to Vicky Bardo for a moment, who is Development and Special Events Manager for Filling the Gap, associated with the Resource Center. And you were kind of making eye contact with Marcos there, feeding him a little bit of information. You saw this last year.
You know, last year Marcos came to us with an idea of having a lip sync contest, and we kind of scratched our heads, as we do with many first-time events. But we thought, you know what, how fun. It sounds like a wonderful event. We all love Mark, and unfortunately he passed away under some very sad circumstances. And what a better way to honor him than having everyone come together, kind of celebrating his life and doing what he would like to do, which I could just see him here laughing, you know, with good intent, with the lip sync contest and all the antics that went on, and not to mention the fabulous camaraderie from the folks who were attending, as well as from the contestants. What Marcos didn't say is that we also have 2 performers coming that are professional lip sync folks.
Oh, really? Go ahead.
And I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like that, and I was so enthralled and so entertained. I just couldn't wait for this year. Both of them are from out of town. I think one's from Florida, one's from Buffalo, and they are Fantasy Island and Veronica Lace, and they're professionals. And boy, did they put on a show. They're going to come out and they're going to do a few numbers. Now, I don't want to take all the thunder away, but they're also going to serve as celebrity judges. But it's just so much fun, and I think that having this backdrop of beautiful Shaw Bucks and the way it looks, it's so urban, and you don't even feel like you're in Jamestown. So there's a lot going on. We're, like Marco said, we have many, many baskets that are going to be raffled out throughout the evening. We also have a WOW drink that the bartenders and mixologists over here at Shaw Bucks are creating. And it was a real big hit last year, so they've assured me that this year they're going to come up with something just as spectacular. So we're looking forward to sampling that and just having a grand time.
Fantasy Island and Veronica Lace.
That's right. Now, doesn't that lend itself to just, you have to show up and see what's going on here?
Are they men or women?
They're men, and they're
Fantasy Island and Veronica Lace are men.
Yeah, and then they transform, and now they're performers, lip sync performers. And they're not impersonators because they're themselves, but they're a riot. They're so much fun.
And they do everybody's music.
Yeah,
and they throw a lot of humor and.
It's an act almost. It's almost an act. They sing, they dance, and it's just very, very entertaining. And then they kind of set the stage for how everything is going to happen that night. They go on first.
Filling the Gap is the name of an organization and also a concept. And when you think about the Mark Pacheco WOW Fund and how that helps fill the gap, Vicki, with your experience in helping raise money to help persons with disabilities, this sounds like it fills a very interesting niche in their lives.
Well, I think the unique thing about this is that it's not program related, it's not related to anything other than having fun. And in a lot of these folks, their personal income just doesn't support what they want to do. You know, a lot of us want to go to a Buffalo Bills game. We can't afford the tickets. This would afford that experience. Also, like Marco said, going to the Sabres game, that's huge. You know, that's a big expense, and it would take them many, many years and months to save up for that. But now through the goodness of the WOW Fund, they write a letter and they get approved, and then all of a sudden they're going to go and have a grand time. And believe me, they take plenty of pictures, and you could just see from the expression on their faces how happy and wonderful this is for them.
As you say those things, the idea that came to my mind was, life can be challenging for all of us. Gets a little routine, gets a little dull, gets a little whatever. And so those special moments in which we can go someplace different, do something a little out of the usual, become very treasured to us and something that we much anticipate, enjoy when we're there, and then the memory of being there can carry us through a lot of stormy days in the weather or stormy days in life or whatever you want to call it. And I would bet that that's even more so for someone who is coping on a day-to-day basis with significant disability. The richness of that experience, I think, would be even greater.
Well, when you build a lifelong memory like that for somebody, you really, really appreciate how touching that whole experience is. And you can ask the staff that attend with these folks that really they've had the time of their life.
This is Marcos Figueroa again. How did you connect with Veronica Lace and Fantasy Island?
Well, Veronica Lace and Fantasy Island are female impersonators, and I've known Fantasy Island for many years. She performed in Buffalo, New York, and she's done a lot of shows here in Jamestown, and now she resides in Tampa, Florida. Veronica does shows at Club Marcella's in Buffalo, New York, and they are amazing. They will walk in as a male, and they will transform themselves into a female, and their lip sync is on point, which means they don't miss a word. And Fantasy Island's a little bit more funnier. We got Veronica Lace, that's a more pageant girl, a show girl, that'll come out and do a little dancing, but they're both amazing, and this is something that you don't want to miss.
So the doors open at 8. We're talking about the second annual Lip Sync Battle fundraiser here at Shawbucks on Friday, August 19th. Doors open at 8. You said the competition would start around 9:30. Do they perform in the meantime, or what's the real schedule here?
The schedule it's 9:30. I will be opening up the show myself, lip syncing with an amazing act. You don't want to miss this one. If you missed last year's. And then we're going to go on to Fantasy Island, Veronica Lace, and then we'll go immediately right into our competition. Oh, our judges, yes. Like Vicki said, Fantasy Island, Veronica Lace. We have Marla Harris, and we also have Heather Scogan from 106.9.
So,
and I'm looking for a male, which I think I have, so I'll leave that a little surprise.
Okay. Some automatic comebacks I could give to that, considering the environment of the conversation at the moment. We'll just leave that. We'll just leave that for now. Yes,
Dennis. I just want to give listeners. I don't want listeners to have the impression that this is all a comedic evening. I mean, Marcus's routine last year was obviously comedy. There were a couple others that brought some smiles and were kind of entertained that way. But a lot of the performers were very serious. So the gentleman who won, you almost could hear a pin drop as he was doing his performance because it was that riveting. So people take this very seriously. It's not about getting a laugh. Some people are with their routines they're doing are trying to get a laugh, but everyone is taking this very seriously, and they do this. I think some of the people that will be there have done this before, so they're used to doing it, and they take it. As I said, they take it seriously. So it's not just not a comedy show.
Going to get back to Marcos to recap this in 1 second, but Kurt Johnson is the owner of Shawbucks. He does not like to be out in the public eye, but we're going to give him the limelight for just a moment here. A couple of things. First, thank you for letting us come and do this program in your delightful place. We have it all to ourselves. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now, and you've done, this is really beautiful, as Vicki was saying as we walked in the room here, Marcos and Steve as well. With the windows here on Washington Street, you've really opened up a whole new world for us here.
Yes, we brought in more light into the restaurant area.
Talk to me about this special night. A lot of things happen here. The Shawbucks is a very active and engaging place, but it sounds like this lip sync contest really pushes the envelope, stretches the limit for you even more than usual.
Yes, it does. Anytime we can get together with a purpose behind compassion and kindness, we want to participate in bringing our community together in a non-judgmental type of way for a good time.
How long have you had Shawbucks here?
We've been open 21 years, March 31st, 1995.
Can you imagine, or could you have imagined then, how it has unfolded and the landmark that it has become in the community?
No, it's we've been through probably 3 different remodels over the period of time, but...
and is this it, or can we expect another one?
Not anytime soon. I'm looking forward to what's, coming into this campus around Shawbucks with the Ice Arena, the National Comedy Center coming, and the Riverwalk, and the whole thing bringing together. And it's just an honor to be right in the center of all this development.
Well, that's the phrase that came to my mind, too. You are right in the middle of it all. Let me take a minute of the Resource Center's time, Kurt, to allow you just to do a little bit of a commercial for your place. When are you regularly open? I mean, we're recording this on a Thursday afternoon when the doors are not usually open, but when are you regularly open here at Shawbucks?
Our doors open at 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Our dinner hours are 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the evening. We have a late night menu from 9 to 11 p.m.
Music regularly?
Mainly in the winter months on Saturday evenings from September through May.
If you were to look at the Shawbucks menu right now, is there a particular item that stands out for you in terms of your favorite at your place here, Kurt?
I'd have to say our steaks are one of my favorite items, and I know we do sell a lot of chicken wings also.
Vicky's nodding her head up and down. I guess the chicken wings are her favorite. Well, thank you again for allowing us to come and be in your place to record the show, to allow it to be used for this exciting lip sync competition, and for all that you do to help the community, Kurt.
Thank you.
Marcos Figueroa is the principal organizer of this second annual Lip Sync Battle fundraiser. And Marcos, a couple of details we want to hit on one more time here. There's still an opportunity for a few more people to sign up and perform.
Yes, there is. You can get a hold of me on Facebook, Marcos A. Figueroa, or my phone number is 951-6118. Like I said, we have 10 confirmed contestants, and we will be able to take a few more. So if you're interested, just get a hold of me, and we'll enter. And you can enter that night before 9:30 also.
$20 per act.
$20 per act to enter the competition, and that money goes right to the Mark Pacheco Wow Fund. And again, you are competing for $250 and a cup, trophy champion, and $100 second place, and third place is $50.
And you do want people to bring a CD, their own music, with them so it can be played here as they do the lip sync.
Please have your music ready on a CD and have your lips ready to roar.
And interesting the way you put that for lip sync. I'm just going to let that sink in for a moment, Marcos. And people who want to come, this is really a fundraiser. So it's $5 advance sale tickets from a variety of Resource Center locations, or $7 at the door that night.
That is correct. $5 pre-sale, $7 at the door.
And you have ideas already for a third lip sync competition? Are you looking forward to the future and maybe adding some things to this? I'm kind of pushing your envelope a little bit here now, Marcos. But
yeah, I have pushed this year's a little bit of stuff that's going on in the evenings, and we have to come down and see that. But yeah, my wheels are already turning for the third annual Mark Pacheco Wow Fund Lip Sync Contest, of course.
Tell me a little more. We got 1 minute here before I have to go back to Steve about your day-to-day work at the Resource Center. You are obviously a man of spirit, and you have a great sense of humor. What is your day-to-day work like at TRC? What do you do?
Well, like I said, I'm an assistant manager at Fairmount Avenue.
Well, I'm going to take that apart a little bit. What's it mean to do?
It means to care for individuals with disabilities, make them comfortable, make them happy, make sure that they are dressed correctly, fed correctly, and things like that.
How many people live at the Fairmount Avenue Resource Center location?
We have 6 at the Fairmount Avenue.
And who is the manager there?
The manager is Rhonda Scott.
Thank you very much, Marcos Figueroa. We have a couple of minutes here. Back to Steve Watterson to wrap up this edition of Share the Vision. It's been exciting to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And fun to contemplate this second annual lip sync battle. Will you be entering?
I hope not. No, I'll be here. My talents are better used helping out with everything rather than getting up on stage and trying to make myself stand out. But I'll tell you, it was great last year. Shawbucks was packed. We really had a fantastic turnout. People had a great time. If you're planning on attending, be sure to bring some dollar bills, because a lot of the performers like to be acknowledged and recognized for the quality of their work by having people come up and give them $1. So,
our performers, Fantasy Island and Veronica Lace, they deserve to be tipped.
Right.
Bring those dollars.
Right. Absolutely.
Steve, I've enough time to say this on the show today. There are many organizations, Resource Center among them, that are always finding new ways to attract interest to themselves and to do fundraising, because it is necessary in today's world. This is such a novel, exciting contest that is not duplicated. I mean, it just has very, very special qualities to it that make it stand out.
Oh, it is, but it's all thanks to Marcos. He was the brainchild. He's the guy that runs with this and is the champion of it. And Vicky and I have been here for years. We're old and our ideas are stale, but look at Marcos coming up with these fantastic ideas to bring the young folk in. It's just wonderful.
All right, Steve, we have a minute for any other Resource Center news, anything else that's happening in the immediate future here for TRC.
Well, Vicki just announced this week that we are accepting nominations for our annual Disability Awareness Awards.
She did?
She did. You want to talk to Vicki about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, just this week, Vicki Bardo announced how many different categories this year, Vicki?
We have 9 different categories, and this, I believe, is our 28th annual event. And if somebody comes to your mind that you really think is deserving of an award, please visit trcny.org and make sure that you print off an application, or you can give me a call at 661-1477. I'll be happy to shoot one to you over in the mail or email you.
And the date has been set for this year's Disability Awareness?
It has. It's October the 26th, and we are going to be hosting this year's event up at Webb's Captain's Resort.
Wow. Looking forward to that. Okay, Steve, Disability Awareness Award applications are out. Anything else that we should say on behalf of the cause?
Well, we've got a couple events coming up in September. Toward the end of September, September 23rd is our second annual Sprout Film Festival at the Reg Linné. And then the next day, September 24th, is our 7th annual Step Up for Autism event over in Celeron. And we'll be talking about those in upcoming shows.
We look forward to that. But to Marcos Figueroa, Vicki Bardo, Kurt Johnson, and Steve Watterson, in honor of the second annual Lip Sync battle here at Shawbucks, thank you all for sharing the vision today.